Hi everyone, this is Ellen George with Great Lakes Cisco, and I'm at the 13th International Coregonid Symposium in Bayfield, Wisconsin. And here I am with Louise Chavarie, who is going to be talking to us about her study on lake whitefish morphs in Great Bear Lake. Louise, I'm turning it over to you, and go ahead.
Perfect. So Great Bear Lake is a lake in northern Canada in the Northwest Territories. It is the biggest lake in Canada because Superior is shared with the US. So Great Bear Lake is 32,000 kilometers square. To give you an idea, it's the size of Scotland. So really huge lakes. And one that's really special with Great Bear Lake, that it sustains a lot of intraspecific diversity. So diversity within a species. And I did my PhD on lake trout that I showed that there was 4 morphotypes of lake trout. And now as my new postdoc, I'm starting in 2 weeks at UBC. I'm moving out of Michigan State for British Columbia. We're going to characterize the intraspecific diversity of lake whitefish, that we think that there's a 3 to 4 morphotype there, and those are preliminary results that we got, that shows 3 different forms in terms of body shape, but there is way more things that we need to characterize to really be more certain of what's going on here in terms of the diversity, especially with the gill raker, which is a really important feature for the coregonids to separate in terms of diversity, but as well as diet, and we're going to do the head shape and linear measurement as well. So this is kind of an example of the diversity that we got in our surveys when I was doing my PhD. I just randomly stumbled on a bunch of lake whitefish as bycatch, and as I was taking picture of it, because I was doing lake trout diversity, I was like, oh my god, wait, there's like diversity as well in the lake whitefish. And we also have some ciscos that show a lot of intraspecific diversity, and there was a master student who took that project on. And one of the things that I'm going to do with my postdoc is to link it as multi-species complex. So I'm going to, after I finish the lake whitefish, I'm going to take my data from the lake trout, the data that I've generated from the lake whitefish and the cisco, and then look at the intraspecific through the food web that we have in Great Bear Lake. So this is a project that I'm going to start soon. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. So so you see, so there's whitefish and ciscos in Great Bear Lake. Do you know, like, for the ciscos, are there multiple species or multiple morphs, or is it mostly just one morph?
No, one morph, yeah. Okay. So there's a short jaw, and then there's the artidae,
okay.
But the artidae has fulfilled the niche of shallow water form and deep water form as well. So there's like 4 morphs there that,
okay,
yeah.
because they've expanded into another
absolutely
area
yeah,
of the lake.
yeah.
Okay.
And then there's also a lot of spatial variation even within a form, and that's been seen both in lake trout and in the cisco, that this lake has kind of 5 arms that are semi-isolated one to another, and each arm itself will be considered as a huge lake. So there's a lot of variation even within a form across the spatial gradient of that lake. So that there's a lot of variation in Great Bear, and it is a typical Arctic, lake with minimal species. There is only 15 fish species there, and 8 are commonly caught in our nets, and it's really ultra-oligotrophic, really cold. So there's not a lot of the intraspecific diversity does, fulfill a little bit of the diversity aspect that you often see in Arctic lakes, that it does favor the expression of intraspecific diversity, because there's a lot of vacant niche that fish can radiate into.
Okay. Cool, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes.
If any of you are watching later and have questions, you can comment on the video, and I can relay them to Louise. So thank you very much, Louise, for doing this.
Thank you for organizing this.
Bye.
Bye.